Hello. So I've been making my 2023 calendars. This is my second year binding them on my own, and today I want to show you the process of how I do it. I was just talking last night on Imperfect Creations, my weekly drawing show, and I was talking with Janky Dude, my guest, and she's been printing her own t-shirts. And we were talking about how for like a small business owner, it's so much less risky to make your own product. First of all, you know how it's going to turn out, and second of all, you don't have to buy it in bulk or anything like that. So it's definitely more time intensive, and like it's a new skill to learn, but I really like having control over it, especially when I'm not selling hundreds and hundreds of them. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go through like how I make them, the materials I use, because when I first started, there wasn't really any content on how to make these, and so hopefully these will help you out.
Alright, so for the binder, I'm using a True Bind binding machine, wire bind TBW20A. I'll try to find the link for it and put that in the description. And then for the binding rings or coils, I think it's called, there's kind of the label, but it's just, I'll again put the link to those in the description. And then this is something I recommend you kind of try out. Like I just tested this out with a regular paper before I went in with like my actual printed materials, but just make sure it's corresponding the correct way. So if your paper is letter size, you just kind of adjust that little thingy. Again, just test it out for whatever your sizes are. And then notice too, this thing is like how deep the holes will be on the paper, or like how close to the edge, but just refer to that little thing that I just showed to get the correct size. Alright, so now you'll see I'm going through, and I can only do about 2 pages at a time when I am binding on this machine. It says up to 20 pages, but that's if they're like plain paper. This is a little bit of a thicker paper from Office Depot. I'll put the type of paper I use also in the description. But yeah, so I do about 2 pages at a time, and it goes like that. Just flip it up, like flip it over, so you can make sure everything stays together. And then on the final one, I like to push it and do 3 pages, just to save time. So now turning around the binding machine, this is like a 3-in-1, so it helps not only punch the holes, but then it also helps you put the coil thing on through the holes. So showing the type of coils I'm using again, just gonna take one out and put it onto these hooks here. And then the directions usually say to like only do 2 to 3 pages at a time, but this is something that's way easier actually to do just all at once, at least for me. So just plop it on there and then take it off. And so now the coils are in there. Last step is just to actually bind it by putting that. It's like a little magnetic piece down there at the bottom that makes it so that the hooks will be in the right spot. So when you kind of push them together or squish them together, they bind. And there you have it. We have our bound calendar, just a few steps left. Okay, so turning around the binding machine one final time. And this is to get the hole that's going to be like in the very middle of the calendar so that you can like put a push pin and put it in the wall. So I'm taking out all the extra like little puncher things just by pulling them out, and I'm leaving in the middle one. Just full disclosure, this isn't the best way to do this. Like ideally I would have a hole puncher with just one hole in the middle, so that it would be round instead of square like I'm about to show you, but I literally searched forever to find one of these hole punchers and I couldn't. So this is what I use. Honestly, it's quicker and easier this way, but if anyone, ever finds one of those, a hole puncher that will punch it directly in the middle, please let me know. Would be awesome. All right, so now it is all bound and ready to be hung on the wall. I am just going to sign it because I think it's a nice little touch to have it be a hand-signed calendar. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, please let me know. Happy to help. And yeah, I think that is it. Hope this was helpful.